Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Friday, May the 3rd. I'm recording this video pretty early. I'm recording it about 5:30 Eastern Time on Thursday night. There's only a 2-game MLB slate Thursday night, and I wasn't planning on playing it. So I figured I'd go ahead and get my video made for Friday. Yahoo hasn't released their slate yet, and I do have somewhere to be later on today. I didn't really want to wait around for Yahoo to release their pricing, so I'm just going to do DraftKings today. We'll do like we always do, go through the pitcher-player pool, talk about some of the pitchers that I like on this 13-game slate. We'll look at some hitters I'll be targeting, talk about some stacks, and then at the end of the video, we will do BVP plays. I'm still going to have an NBA video out today. It will just be up later tonight. I'm probably going to upload this around 6:30 or 7. My NBA video for the 2-game Friday night slate, that won't be up till later tonight, but I will still be uploading that, just not right after this. But let's just go ahead and take a look at pitcher for today. We have two options on DraftKings that are over 10K. James Paxton at 10,300 and Clayton Kershaw at 10,100. Really don't have any interest in either guy. I shouldn't say any interest. I'll probably have a small amount. Like in my 20 lineups, I might have one Paxton and one Kershaw. But I expect my core pitchers to be the guys that are a little bit cheaper. Like Chris Sale against the White Sox at 9,900 is more appealing in my eyes. Tyler Glasnow against the Orioles at 9,600. I really like. Even like Matt Boyd against the Royals for 9,300, I think is a pretty good play. So tough spot for James Paxton. He's been great this year, and especially as of late, Paxton's been on fire. But tough spot against a really good Twins lineup that's been pretty potent this year. Doesn't strike out that much. They do have a low total of 3.7 runs, but this is still a pretty talented lineup. Pretty scary lineup as well. A lot of power there. And Kershaw, I don't think his matchup's really bad. He's just 10,100 as a price tag that I really don't want to pay on a 13-game slate. There's just other guys I'd look to. I really like Tyler Glasnow. I think he's going to be my preferred option to pay up for. 9,600 against the Orioles. Glasnow just has so much upside in this matchup. This is an Orioles team that we know strikes out a ton versus both sides of the plate, right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching. Glasnow has faced the Orioles already once this year. Didn't have that great of an outing. He did go 7 innings, but he did allow 7 hits and 2 earned runs, and he only got 3 strikeouts, which was a bit of a surprise. I would expect a much better performance from Glasnow here. I think he has 30-point upside in this matchup. We could see Glasnow go 6 innings with double-digit Ks against this Orioles team. I think he could easily be the highest-scoring pitcher on this slate. So I really like him. 9,600. I think he's a very good play if you're paying up. I think Chris Sale for 300 more also makes a ton of sense. I do like Chris Sale quite a bit, but I think I would prefer Glasnow if I do have to choose between the two. And if we go down to this 8K range, I think Kevin Gausman at 8,400 against the Marlins definitely stands out. I do like him a lot. Sonny Gray as well at home against the Giants I think is a very good play. And between those two, right now I'm leaning Sonny Gray. I don't think you can really go wrong with either guy. Both guys have great matchups, but I'm going to lean Sonny Gray. With how well he's been pitching lately, Gausman has been struggling a bit lately, which is a tad bit concerning. Even though he has a really good matchup today, that's going to be what's going to lean me towards Gray. Gray's been very consistent this year, hasn't had huge games. His best game of the year was when he had 25 DK points against the Pirates on April 5th, 6 2/3 innings, 1 run, 7 Ks. But like I said, Sonny Gray just been very consistent, 5 to 6 innings, it seems like every start. That start against the Marlins where he only went 4 innings, he did get hurt in that game. So I could see Gray easily going 6 innings again, 6 innings, 7, 8 strikeouts, maybe 1 or 2 runs. 22, 25 DraftKings points seems like a pretty good projection for Sonny Gray here. And I really like that he's 8,200. Feels a bit underpriced for this matchup with the Giants. It's a Giants team that's just so bad. Not a lot of good hitters in the lineup. Only thing that's concerning is that the ballpark is very friendly to hitters, but there's not a lot of good hitters in this Giants lineup, so I'm not that worried, to be honest. Plus, there's a lot of strikeouts, a lot of upside in this matchup for Sonny Gray, and I really like him at 8,200. Going Glasnow and Gray on DraftKings leaves you 4,025 remaining per player, which you can definitely work around on this slate. Those are the two guys I really like to build around. But if we're talking about some of the other cheap pitchers, we'll look down here towards the bottom of the player pool, see if there's any value we can look to. If this game is able to play without a delay, there was expected to be some rain in this Oakland-Pittsburgh game, but if there's no concern, when we get to lock. I think Joe Musgrove at 7,200 at home against Oakland makes a lot of sense if you want to look there. Even looking a little bit cheaper, like Jorge Lopez, I don't think is a good pitcher, but he's 6,500 and he's facing a really bad Tigers team and a really bad Tigers lineup. So Jorge Lopez, as a cheap option, could be a guy you look to. I wouldn't mind using him. But that's probably all the guys I'm going to be looking to for value plays. Like Jorge Lopez would probably be the cheapest guy I would use. I'm not going to really be looking to like Hellickson or Anderson or Dan Straley. Brett Anderson at 5,800 doesn't seem like a terrible play, especially since this Pittsburgh lineup doesn't have a ton of great hitters in it. There's not a lot of strikeouts in this Pittsburgh lineup, but not a lot of good hitters either. Plus, it's a favorable pitcher's park. I could see using some Brett Anderson since he's 5,800. But I expect a lot of my lineups today to be like Sale plus Gray, Sale plus Gausman, Glasnow plus Gray, Glasnow, Gausman, maybe Kershaw, Gausman. If I want to really pay up and go to Kershaw, then maybe I go Kershaw, Lopez. Those are kind of the combinations at pitcher that I'm looking to do today. But now let's talk about some hitters. So all three of my hitters are going to come from the outfield. There's a lot of plays I like at this position. Pretty much can say that every day because the outfield is just a loaded position. But if we look to this Brewers team, 4.8 implied run total in Miller Park versus Steven Matz. I like all the outfielders from the Brewers. Assuming Christian Yelich is in the lineup, I think Kane, Yelich, and Ryan Braun are three of my favorite plays today, especially Kane and Yelich. When you look at their price tags, Kane's only 4,300 on DraftKings. He looks like a great play here, leading off against Steven Matz, a lefty that does have talent but can blow up easily. We've seen Matz have some really bad starts this year and in the past. He got absolutely rocked by the Phillies earlier this year, gave up like 4 home runs in the first inning. Matz is prone to blowing up, so looking at some of these Brewers bats I think makes a lot of sense, especially when you look at the ballpark they're going to be in Miller Park. Just so many good hitters in this lineup, guys that don't really strike out, guys that have a lot of power. Plus there is speed at the top of this lineup. Kane, Yelich, and Braun can all steal bases. And if they do get on versus Steven Matz, I would imagine they're going to run because Steven Matz is pretty bad at holding runners. So I really like Lorenzo Cain at 4,300. I like Ryan Braun as well. He's only 4,100. Pretty much the same thing can be said for him as it is for Cain. Great ballpark. Facing a lefty that really struggles to righties, gives up power to righties, gives up stolen bases. Ryan Braun, always been great versus left-handed pitching just throughout his career. I think this is a really good spot for him as well. Really like going that two-man stack of Kane and Yelich. You can obviously look to other guys, though, in this Brewers lineup, especially like Jesus Aguilar, 3,800. Really like Aguilar's price. Maybe even Hernan Perez as a value, 3,700 you could go to. I think like a 4-man stack of Kane, Yelich, Braun, and Aguilar. Maybe Grandal, but like that 4-man, Kane, Yelich, Braun, Aguilar, really like that stack. That's probably going to be one of my higher owned and higher used stacks today. The Brewers as a team are going to be a team that I really look to. And then another team I'll be looking to stack up that I really like is the Phillies. Phillies have a 5.1 implied run total versus Jeremy Hellickson. Bryce Harper really stands out to me at 4,600 batting third. Bryce Harper's price has really started to plummet because he hasn't been hitting the ball that well lately. Makes sense. He's down to 4,600 on DK. If we pull up the game log, it's not very good. Last 2 games, he's gone 0 for 4. Just hasn't had a lot of homers lately. His last homer was, let's see if I can find it, April 26th. That was the last time he homered. Only batting .231 on the year, so we've seen Harper kind of struggle a bit, but it's leading to his DraftKings price dropping as well. Last game against Detroit, he was 5,400, and now he's all the way down to 4,600. And he does get a really good matchup against a very bad right-handed pitcher in Jeremy Hellickson. This is a guy that doesn't really get strikeouts, pitches to contacts, going to throw strikes. And if you're throwing balls in the zone to guys like McCutchen, Segura, Harper, Hoskins, Realmuto, it's probably not going to go well for you. So I really like Bryce Harper. I think he's one of the top plays on the slate, especially when you factor in his price tag of just 4,600. If he was like Yelich's price, like Yelich's 5,700, if he was up there at that price tag, he wouldn't be as necessary or as good of a play. But since he's all the way down to 4,600, that makes me really intrigued by Bryce Harper, and I think he's a very good option in the outfield today. So these are my 5 plays for DraftKings today, guys. Glasnow, Gray, Kane, Braun, and Harper. Now let's talk about some stacks that I like that I'll be looking to on this slate, and then at the end of the video, or once we get there, we'll go over BVP. So I already mentioned two teams that I really like. The Brewers with a 4.8 implied run total versus Steven Matz, and the Phillies with a 5.1 implied run total versus Jeremy Hellickson. I think those are two of my favorite stacks on the slate. The other teams I'll be looking to, I really like the Rays. Again, it seems like I've been stacking the Rays a ton lately, but Rays a 5.4 implied run total versus Dan Straley in Camden Yards. Some of these Rays bats are very appealing to me. When you look at the prices like Nathaniel Lowe, 4K, Garcia, 4,300, G-Man Choi, 4,500, you've got value in this Rays lineup, so I do like looking at some Rays bats. I think you could go to some Reds in Great American Ballpark, 4.8 implied run total versus Tyler B. Not that great of a pitcher. This is a guy you can definitely stack against, so some Reds you could look to. If this game in Texas is able to play, there's expected to be a lot of rain in this game, 72% precipitation. But if it's able to play, 5.6 implied run total for the Rangers versus Trent Thornton. That's a team you could definitely look to. They've got some value in their lineup as well. Specifically, Rougned Odor batting second for only 3,800. Looks like a really good value at second base if this game does go and it's able to play. And then you obviously have Coors Field, 5.6 implied run total for the D-backs versus Tyler Anderson. 5.5 implied run total for the Rockies versus Robbie Ray. Obviously, Coors bats are going to be appealing. That's definitely a team or two teams you could look to, but Coors is probably going to be towards the bottom of my list today. I actually think there's some better spots. Plus, I really like the expensive pitching, and it's hard to play Coors bats with expensive pitching. Then don't want to forget about the Red Sox either versus Ronaldo Lopez. They'll probably be in there for teams I'll be stacking, like Benintendi and Martinez for 4,400 and 4,300. Really stand out. Xander Bogaerts for 4,300 stands out. Red Sox bats, besides Mookie Betts, are relatively cheap today, so that's another team you could look to. But I would say like my core stacks are definitely going to be the Brewers, the Phillies up there, and the Rays. Those are probably my top three teams: Brewers, Phillies, and Rays. But now let's talk about some BVP before we end the video. So there's a decent amount of BVP plays today, but I'm just going to cover the ones that really stand out to me. So we'll start off with Whit Merrifield, great BVP versus Matt Boyd, 12 for 25 with 5 extra base hits. He's done really well against him. Evan Longoria, 10 for 32 with a home run off Sonny Gray. Ryan Braun, 3 for 11 with the home run off of Steven Matz. Trevor Story, 5 for 12, 2 home runs off Robbie Ray. Nolan Arenado, 11 for 31, 3 home runs off of Robbie Ray. Charlie Blackmon, great BVP versus Robbie Ray, 17 for 36 with 4 home runs. So those are just some of the BVP plays that really catch my eye. Maybe a couple more I see. CJ Cron, 5 for 12, 2 home runs off James Paxton. Bryce Harper's actually got some BVP versus Hellickson. Only a 176 average, only 3 for 17, but 2 of those 3 hits were home runs. So Harper has shown power versus Jeremy Hellickson in the past. And then I'll say the last play is Freddie Freeman, 8 for 20, 2 home runs off Jose Arena. So those are all the BVP plays I got for today, guys. I think that is it for the video. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, just make sure you click that like button down below before you get out of here. I would really appreciate it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. If you have not subscribed yet, you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed so that way you never miss out on any of my new videos. And like I said at the beginning, I'm uploading this video a little bit early. I will still have an NBA video out today. It'll just be up later tonight once I get back home and am able to make it. But I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next one. Good luck tonight. Peace.